Hey, y'all. It's me, E.T., back with another bomb recipe. Okay, today we are making a pot of greens, and to be completely honest with you, greens are very easy to cook. You will need all of these ingredients to make your greens, and this is the basis of your pot liquor. And then after you make your pot liquor, you're going to go ahead and put in your collard green leaves. So what you'll need is some onions, some chicken broth, some minced garlic, and this is smoked meat. I choose to use smoked turkey, but some people use ham or whatever, but I don't really like pork like that, so I use smoked turkey. Then you're gonna have all of your seasonings. So what I have here is pepper, granulated garlic, Old Bay. I love Old Bay. I just think it makes everything taste better. Some seasoned salt, some Frank's Red Hot. It just gives it a little zing. Some Tony Chachere's and some vinegar. So we're going to use all of this to make our pot liquor. And then once we make the pot liquor and it simmers for about 2 hours and the meat starts to pull apart, then you're going to go ahead and add your leaves. Now I'm making a big pot of greens, getting ready for our weekly plates, but you won't need this many. If you're just making it for your family, you'll need about 4 to 5 bushels of greens, and that's about it. But I'm making a big pot. So now here we are with our onions. You're going to go ahead and chop your onions up, and they don't have to be too small. You go ahead and chop them about this size, and you don't want them to disappear in the pot liquor, but you'll go ahead and give it some nice flavor with your greens. So this is about a decent size. You want to chop up those onions, and you want to put them in your pot liquor with your minced garlic. So first, what you want to do is heat up your oil, and then you're going to go ahead and add your garlic. Now, like I said, I'm making a big pot, so I'm adding in a hefty amount of garlic, but you don't need to add that much. You can add about equivalent to about 4 to 5 cloves. Now, it seems like a lot, but honestly, once it simmers, and it's just going to be a great flavor with your greens. So you do want to go ahead and stir it up consistently for about 30 seconds to let that garlic get fragrant, but you don't want to burn your garlic. So once that is nice and fragrant and mixed together, then you want to go ahead, and this is where you'll add your onions. And so once you get the onions in there and you stir that up together, let them get a little soft, not too soft, they'll finish getting soft with the cooking of your pot liquor. You're going to add your chicken broth. Now, this is where the flavor comes in, because a lot of people use water. I don't use water because I feel like chicken broth just gives it an extra added flavor. So once we add the chicken broth and we have everything incorporated, we're going to go ahead and add our seasonings. Now, like I said again, I am making a big pot of greens, so I had to add 4 big family size containers. You would just only need about 2. So now that that's all in there, we're going to go ahead and add our seasonings. So here I am adding in the pepper, and then we're going to add in some garlic powder or granulated garlic. I love garlic. I don't feel like you can have enough garlic, but with it all getting mixed together and those flavors marrying, I promise you, when they marry together, everything is just going to taste so bomb. So then we're going to add some Tony Chachere's. Now, be careful with the Tonys because it is very strong and you will get the coughing and sneezing and whatnot. But yeah, just be careful. So then we're gonna go ahead and add some seasoned salt and that Old Bay. And then we're gonna stir everything together. Once we get everything, we're gonna add our Frank's Red Hot as well as the vinegar. I'm gonna pour that in there. And then we can go ahead and stir everything together. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and stir everything together. And I always say taste your food, okay? If you don't like it, 9 times out of 10, somebody else ain't going to like it. So you need to taste your food and make sure it is to your liking. Now, if I was doing a cookbook or something, then I would go ahead and measure out what exactly you all need to do. But for the sake of this video, everything is just to taste. I'm doing it how I like it. Some people may like more, some people may like less, but it's completely up to you. It is your pot of greens. But I do make sure I taste the food and I make it to the way I like it. And 9 times out of 10, everyone else likes it. Now, like I said, you want to add less, and then you can always add more. You see what I'm saying? Because if you mess it up, you can't take the ingredients out. So go ahead and taste it as it's marinating and as it's cooking. And then once that's incorporated, we can go ahead and add our smoked turkey. So once we get that in there, we're going to bring it to a boil. Bring your pot liquor to a boil, just like so. And then now that it has come to a boil, we're going to go ahead and turn the heat down to a simmer. And it will just simmer for about 2 to 2.5 hours. Okay, so while our pot liquor is simmering and getting nice and marinated with its juices and flavors, this is how you clean and chop up your green leaves. So a lot of people, I've seen some weird stuff about how people clean their greens. Now, I just use a little bit of baking soda and wash it under some cold water and make sure I get all the dirt and if there's any bugs or anything like that. And then you go ahead and stack them up, roll them, and slice. And then once you do that, it should look like this. It's very simple. It's not a hard technique at all. So it just looks nice and finely chopped, just like this. Not too small, not too big. And then you can go ahead and add it to our finished pot liquor. Your pot liquor should look like this on a simmer. And you know when it's done, when the meat starts to fall off the bone. So you can go ahead and add your green leaves little by little all together. It's completely up to you. I find it easier to add a little bit at a time and then press it in there with the spoon, so it can cook down a little bit, and then you can add some more. But some people choose to put them all in at the same time, but just make sure that your green leaves are all submerged in your pot liquor like so. Okay, so once we get all of our green leaves in the pot, we're going to go ahead and put a top on it and let it simmer for about another 2 to 2.5 hours, stirring occasionally. And you're going to wait until the greens start to get nice and tender. And while it's marinating in this pot liquor, about halfway through, it should look like this. Your onions are starting to become translucent. Your greens are a nice dark green, and they are starting to get tender. And once it's finished, your greens should look like this. The meat should have fallen off the bone. Your greens are nice and tender. There's a slight crunch, but it's not like you're chewing a potato chip. And the flavors are nice and married together. Like, this is the best pot of greens, okay, you guys? And I hope you guys enjoy it. If you follow this recipe to a T, you cannot go wrong. So thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and let me know if you try this recipe and how it turned out. Thanks you again for watching, and I will see you guys again soon with another bomb recipe from ET.